A night of celebration and good vibes at UBS Arena last night did not quite carry over onto the ice for the Islanders, as their current losing streak has now continued to 4 games. Metro Division leading Carolina Hurricanes routed the Isles 5-2 on Alumni Night, with New York being held scoreless over the entirety of the second and third period. The Canes got off to an incredible start as they would find themselves with the lead only 44 seconds into the game. Jordan Staal would be assisted by Jalen Chatfield during Carolina's first trip into the offensive zone. This rough start would only snowball for New York as the Canes would strike again nearly 2 minutes later with a Jesper Fast goal assisted by Staal to give Carolina a 2-0 lead nearly 4 minutes into regulation.
On the backhand, slides it across and they score. Jesper Fast on a 2-on-1, Jordan Staal.
While this explosion from Carolina would quiet UBS Arena significantly, the Islanders completely got their foot back in the door within the first period, as the first period would conclude with back-to-back New York goals to even the contest back up. This would include a Simon Holmstrom wrist shot on a breakaway and a very, very crafty Brock Nelson wraparound goal to tie the game at 2 with 4:18 to go in the period. Having seen this response from the Isles, the crowd at the UBS Arena was about as energized as they would be the entire game. At this point, the game really did feel like it was in New York's hands. It felt like they had every bit of the momentum. This, however, would be the last time that audiences would really see the Islanders put up any sort of fight in this game.
Against Buffalo, carries around, wraparound, scores!
After entering the second period in a tie, missed opportunities would absolutely cripple this Islanders offense. Multiple players getting great looks, breakaways, shot opportunities, and yet somehow always coming up short and never finding the back of Carolina's net. To make matters worse, multiple penalties set up unwanted power play opportunities for the Canes. The Islanders would be lucky to hold Carolina scoreless on all their power plays, though penalties were very much a problem for them. A nearly scoreless second half would come to an abrupt end as Sebastian Aho would tally his first goal of his eventual hat trick at the 3:20 mark to go in the second period. It would be safe to say that this would be the biggest momentum shifter during the game, and this was kind of where you saw Carolina break away with it. The Islanders would enter the third period down a goal and would not recover. The lack of offense continued, and it really seemed as though every bit of spark this New York offense had was gone. Sebastian Aho would strike for his second goal on a breakaway, and this would now be a 2-goal Islanders deficit at the 12-minute mark.
Scoring goals this year.
Aho with the turnover for the Canes, and he scores! Oh, Sebastian Aho!
Around the 6-minute mark to go, the Islanders would deploy the sixth man and bring 2023 NHL All-Star Ilya Sorokin to the bench. The sixth man for New York would still not be enough to produce any sort of offensive output, and they would go scoreless the remainder of the game. Sebastian Aho would complete his hat trick with under a minute to go in regulation, taking advantage of an Islanders' empty net with a breakaway one-on-one.
This puck comes out for Sebastian Aho. He's got a chance for an empty net. Goal! He scores! Hat trick! Sebastian Aho!
This Islanders team is in a skid. There's simply no better way to put it. 4 losses in a row, lack of offensive output, lack of support for Ilya Sorokin, lots of missed opportunities. 5-2 the final in this one last night. The Islanders desperately need to get back in the win column, and they will have another opportunity to do so Monday night on the road north of the border against the Toronto Maple Leafs. With WFUV Sports, I'm Jack Warner.